ladies and gentlemen, fellas and Sheilas. Welcome to another bonus No Rules episode of Voltz Supreme Synth VGM Dream Stream Machine podcast. The podcast that usually plays the synthiest video game music of all time. But recently we've gone totally off the rails with bonus episodes. And once again, we're going to be diving deep into the world of film music. So, in this episode, the artist in the spotlight is one of the greatest film composers of all time, and obviously one of my personal favourites. It's the Italian film composer Ennio Morricone. Now, sadly, the maestro passed away last year at the ripe age of 91, and I thought it would be great to both celebrate his life as a composer and also hopefully share some of his music to folks who may not be too familiar, especially with this huge range of work he's got. So, ladies and gentlemen, it also gives me great pleasure to introduce this episode's special guest who will be helping me take on this epic task. Fellas and Sheilas, all the way from the dark recesses of Melbourne, Australia, he's the frontman of legendary band Sex on Toast and an all-round creative genius. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Angus Leslie. Welcome to the show, Angus.
What a kind introduction. Yeah, and also shout outs to all the non-binary listeners as well. I'm really happy to be here to talk about Ennio right about now.
Awesome, thank you. Well, first let me congratulate you on your recent achievements. As all the listeners of this podcast know, your band Sex on Toast made the top 30 Australian songs of all time list, and you managed to take out 13th, 9th, 4th, and 1st place.
And I didn't know we were first. I didn't know we were first place. I haven't been keeping up. Which one was first place?
Well, first place is obviously O Loretta.
Ah, that old chestnut. Yeah.
That old chestnut.
Well, 7 million streams can't be wrong.
No, definitely not. Especially from Australia. That's the amount. 7 million streams from Australia is probably about 700 million when you boost it up to an American standard or something like that.
Well, Americans like that song. I've found. The only place we've seen covers come out of is America of Loretta. Although there was a band, my friend sent me a band in Darwin covering it, so that's cool too. So not only, but yeah, man, thank you. That's cool. Which other songs made the cut?
So I think 13 was, is it Try It Out? The Tone version.
Tone version. Ah, yeah.
Yeah, it's just got to have one of my favorite vocal performances of all time on that song.
You are a very sweet man. Thank you for that. Actually, just some trivia about those vocal performances. They were hard work.
I can imagine.
There was a lot of different takes. There's a lot of Frankensteining going on in the licks. I remember I actually edited the licks together, all the R&B licks I was doing. And also, because we were recording that and For You at the same time, I actually remember For You being harder. That was a harder thing. It was a harder thing to chorus than verse so many times. And I still don't like it. Whenever I hear it, I still think I could do that better. Anyway.
That's a shame, because I think that it got maybe 9th or 4th.
Oh, good. Well, yeah. Well, that was that rainy winter of 2017 that those two tunes were recorded.
Amazing stuff. Anyway, I think we also got an Umlaut song on there as well. So before we get into the songs, why don't you just quickly introduce any other projects you might be involved in, and then we'll get playing some Ennio Morricone.
Well, you just mentioned Umlaut, and I'm interested to hear what Umlaut song made the best list.
Is it like Terra something?
Telangiectasia from...
Yeah, that's the one. Yep.
Cool. Yeah, that was a lot of the overdubs and that were done in my studio actually. I enjoyed making that record. That's a classic. That's our classic kind of lo-fi horn arrangement punk record.
Well, I've had people say that they're interested in hearing more songs from Sex on Toast and Umlaut after listening to last week's or like the other day's episodes.
That's cool, yeah. Well, Umlaut, I've been doing Umlaut since I was 20 years old, and that was there. anyone who's listening now, Bear from Mr. Bungle and Secret Chiefs 3. He's a really talented dude. And we're actually starting work on a new record this week. So other projects, I've been working with a mysterious entity by the name of Electric Self. We'll be releasing something new this year, and hopefully like another EP. Electric Self put out Electric Self Act 1 last year. We're going to get stuck into Electric Self Act 2 and a full-length Electric Self album. And I've been doing some assorted production work. I'd really like to get back into some more songs with this great singer from Newcastle called Georgie Jones. We did a single last year that was pretty good times. Yeah, but also I think there's some work for Sex on Toast on the horizon. Some mysterious plans are being formulated as we speak.
Excellent. All right, well, maybe we'll get the music going. So basically what we're going to do tonight is Angus and I have picked 6 songs each, and we're going to take turns playing our songs.
Shout out to the maestro, having an incredible innings. He lived a long and full life and made a lot of incredible music, and I'm really excited to talk about one of my favorite musicians of all time right now.
Yeah, me too. Well, it was pretty hard work trying to pick 6 songs out of like more than 400 film scores, and not to mention all the other work that he's done as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right, well, let's kick things off with my first pick. We obviously heard the famous spaghetti western theme song from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly as the opening track. And sticking with the western vibes, I wanted to play a very simple but very nice little song from the 1968 film Once Upon a Time in the West, and it's Cheyenne.
I love this too.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy, and we'll be back soon. So that was an incredibly simple song, but a very memorable melody. I think the spaghetti western tunes are probably what people know of most.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I think that those films are pretty amazing, you know. And the scores are amazing. It does bug me sometimes that that's all people think about. I'm sure that you feel the same way. But also the fact that something like The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is so firmly, you know, established in popular culture is very cool, you know, especially when you think about where Ennio comes from in the first place.
It definitely. Would you want to talk a bit about where he comes from?
Well, I mean, the fact that he comes kind of from the avant-garde, which I've got a selection of that kind of music that I've chosen that I'll probably talk about a little later, but I mean, it makes sense that he comes from the avant-garde because of the odd instrumentation choices, you know, like even just like using kind of like these howling voices and screeching and whistling, and I mean that's obviously just something that he decided was his sonic palette that he felt he could draw from, you know, like kind of drawing from anything. But the kitchen sink. But yeah, something like Cheyenne is just like that. That's just a simple simple instrumentation, but it just really lights up what's going on the screen. But I think that the Leone films are really great. But I really like I don't remember the director, so forgive me there. I'm probably a bit more of a noob when it comes to films sometimes. Shout outs to Gene Litzer, who would agree. But even like Death Rides a Horse. Have you seen that film?
No, I would also claim to be a bit of a film noob.
Yeah, I mean, I always mean to see the films that these music's from, and I have seen a lot of them. But sometimes I'm might miss a few. But yeah, that is great. Death Rides a Horse with Lee Van Cleef. Lee Van Cleef being the bad from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. I mean, I really think that those spaghetti westerns are just so great and so funny and better than any American western. But that's an odd flavor. Clint Eastwood is brilliant, and at certain points, I have said that The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is my favorite film of all time. I don't know anymore if it is, but maybe I have to watch it again. It's actually been a few years since I've watched it. But, I think that he really created a sound with those films, those scores that people are still stealing from today.
Yeah, it became the new standard of spaghetti western music and western in general.
Totally. And you know what's funny with Ennio is I feel like he abandoned that style because he felt like he was being typecast by it or something. But the one time I've heard him come back to the spaghetti western type of scoring, I don't know if you've seen it. Have you ever seen the Oliver Stone film U-Turn?
No, I don't think I've even heard of it.
It's great. It's got Sean Penn in it, and Jennifer Lopez and Nick Nolte, and there's some scoring in there that is just so spaghetti western, and it feels like maybe Oliver Stone said, come on, man, like go and do it, because it's set in the desert kind of, and I found it kind of cool to hear him, and I think it was in the 90s. I think it was maybe like 1997 or something, but you can hear Ennio kind of harkening back to his spaghetti western style of writing.
Yeah, well, I think the spaghetti western was definitely my gateway into learning more about Ennio Morricone.
Yeah,
that's basically where I started. I'm sure most people are the same as well.
Well, interestingly enough, the way that I discovered Ennio Morricone's music wasn't from any films, or even sort of exposure to any records or anything. My parents had these friends, Graham Lee and Patrick Cronin, and they started this band called the Ennio Morricone Experience.
Oh, really?
In Melbourne, yeah, who later became known as the Spaghetti Western Orchestra. But originally they were the Ennio Morricone Experience, and they would do these gigs at sort of these hip little places, and I first saw them do a gig. I was actually deep into sample-based hip-hop at the time. I really liked any sort of aggressive sample-based hip-hop. I think my favorite artist was Busta Rhymes. I was about 14, and I was watching them perform, and I was like, my first thing I was thinking, man, I gotta sample this. I had the ability to sample things. But I heard it then, and it was a standalone musical experience for me. And I knew The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly because everybody knows that. It's classic. It's actually completely classic. But I remember watching them perform it as live musicians and doing all the and all the whistling, and I was kind of blown away. And then I guess that was when I was quite young. And then after I got into the music of Mr. Bungle later, I realized that they were covering Ennio all the time.
Yeah, and all their live shows.
Yeah, all their live shows, and also Mike Patton covering that Ennio song with Fantomas, and they were super into it. So I kind of came back to seeing those guys. I remember seeing them at the Corner Hotel, not Mr. Bungle, I wish, but the Ennio Morricone Experience, and kind of watching them do their thing with all their percussion instruments, and vibraphone and shakers, and I'm like, wow, like this is sort of the same flavor as what I've seen Bungle do live, at least with maybe the California tour and that kind of thing. I mean, of course, the other, when they had Willie Wynant playing vibraphone, but these guys had a vibraphone, and it was like, well, I get how this is all kind of connected to different things, and my appreciation for it kind of skyrocketed, and then I started really investigating all of that music, especially all those cover songs, the odd cover songs that Bungle were doing, like ones that you would not necessarily find that easily unless you were kind of
diving through the archives.
Yeah, diving through the archives, or an Italian film enthusiast or film music enthusiast. I came at it, I guess, through non-Italians playing cover versions of it.
Yeah. All right. Well, how about we get to your first pick then?
Sure. My first pick is from the film, I believe it's called Forbidden Photos of a Woman Above Suspicion, or maybe Forbidden Photos of a Lady Above Suspicion. It's a really beautiful theme called Amore come dolore. I don't think I'm pronouncing the Italian properly. Forgive me! But funnily enough, Joel, this film is terrible!
I can imagine many of the films he scored are terrible.
Well, I don't know. This is the only one that I've seen that I really struggled with. I thought it would be cool. It's a giallo film, like a murder mystery kind of thing, but it just drags on and on and on, and it's a really unlikable flick. This is not the main theme, which I also love, but it's a really nice theme from that film.
Sweet. Well, let's give it a listen, and we'll be back soon.
so that was, forgive my Italian pronunciation, amore come dolore. That's how I think it's pronounced. Speak Spanish but not Italian, so I could be incorrect. Yeah, I mean, speaks for itself, really. Absolutely incredible string writing. The way that the melody is orchestrated when the drums and bass line come in blows my mind every time. I love how that melody, he's orchestrating it with like a harpsichord, and then there's just these little extra notes, possibly either on a piano or a harp, only playing some of the melody notes. So that's a great Morricone signature trick that I really think is brilliant.
The little accents coming in every now and then.
Yeah, it's amazing, you know. And he really, like, I just love the way he used groups of instruments, you know. Like, this is a good podcast because I can actually talk about technical musical things a little bit. But you know, he'll have a melody that trades off between like the harpsichord and piano for one phrase, and then the next phrase will be, I don't know, like harp and glockenspiel and I don't know, something else. You know, I'm struggling to think of an example, but I just...
Yeah, I know what you mean. I think that was one of the big things I picked up on when I first started listening to his music.
Yeah.
Even if it's just, the glockenspiel over the top of the melody, even if it's like a vocal melody with glockenspiel and harpsichord in the background.
Yeah.
It just sounds very unique and very Morricone.
Absolutely, yeah. He created a real language, and it's beautiful and European as well. There's something very European about it. I can almost see Colosseums, you know, when I hear these sounds. And now, Joel, you speaking of giallo scores, you've got a absolute ripper song that you've chosen coming up next.
Yeah, this is definitely one of my favorite of his.
And I want to know how you discovered this.
How did I discover this?
Yeah.
Literally just going through piles of scores.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Right, because I knew about this one because of the Disco Volante tour bootlegs of Mr. Bungle.
Yeah, I don't think I got much into the Disco Volante live concerts. I definitely watched a few and enjoyed them, but I don't think I ever stopped and thought, oh, what are these cover songs they're playing in between?
Right.
But maybe that's why I liked it so much when I first heard it, because my brain had been primed and it was ready to go. But so this is also, forgive me as I try to pronounce any of this stuff, La Lusitola from the 1971 Una Lusitola con la pelle di donna, a lizard in woman's skin. This is...
I think it's pronounced La Lucertola.
Yeah, I'll put all the titles in the description as well, so people can actually find it without trying to decipher what we're saying. But this is... I think this is a beautifully creepy song. So let's give it a listen, and we'll be back soon.
All right. La Lucertola.
Man, it's such a nice big build up.
Yeah.
It just stays really quiet for a long time, and then right at the end of that A section, I guess you'd call it, it just builds up. It almost feels like it's going towards something triumphant, and then I can only describe it as the whole thing just literally sinks into this madness with all that chromatic stuff going on. It's just so good.
It's a great melody. One thing I like about what he does there is the way that the trumpet sort of colors in the melody for like a few notes when it goes like da 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 da, and then it just goes pop, 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 just 4 notes of the melody, and it's like, whoa, okay, that's I almost feel like that's his Burt Bacharach influence actually when I hear stuff like that. Because Bacharach has some oddball little arranging and orchestrating ideas like that quite often. Yeah, man, I love that. I think Yeah, and it's a great film too, but no one see it, okay?
Yeah. Sometimes, like, some of the songs are very simple, like the Cheyenne song. That's a pretty straightforward track.
Yeah.
It's just simple, well-written melody, but there's a lot of Morricone stuff that the way he writes, to me, seems like he's just like very free, and the melodies and chords often just completely move away from the main key, sometimes multiple times within a few bars. And I know, at least for me, if I'm not paying attention, you almost don't even notice it. It's so perfectly done.
Yeah, well, it's seamless, and he's good. He's a good writer, so it sounds natural and intuitive, but yeah, he definitely had some great changes, and that's a great example of a song with some great chord changes. One of the things he said, though, I remember reading, was like, someone asked him about, I think it was the interview he did with Donald Fagen from Steely Dan, where he doesn't give him much, but he said something about, like, why do you think your music resonates with people? Like, and I think Ennio said something like, because my songs start in one key and end in the same key. Or something like that. Like, my piece is my songs, rather not songs, but I don't know. It was just funny. Like, maybe it was the spaghetti western ones he was referring to. But yeah, once you get into this more giallo stuff, he scored. There's some pretty damn interesting stuff. I mean, I love the spaghetti western scores, but I really love these ones. I think they're incredible. Yeah,
me too. I could probably stay on the late 60s, early 70s tracks for an entire episode. But
absolutely, yeah.
And I had to throw out a lot of my favorite songs just for the sake of getting a little bit more variation.
Yeah.
And we should also mention the vocalist. Is it Ida Del Orso?
Yeah, Eda Del Orso.
She's amazing.
She was on the score. She was on his scores from the early '60s. You know, I saw here that she was actually on the I Malamondo one, which is a pretty early one of his. Which I've included a tune from that in my selections. But yeah, she was a powerhouse, and she just did so many sessions with him. You know, one of his trusted musicians, it would seem. And I actually looked her up before, and she was still recording in 2018 with an Italian film composer called Alex Pudu, and she's 85 years old. You know,
amazing.
I'd love to hear what she sounds like now, because, you know, as a singer, I always worry as a singer that my voice is going to give out, you know. So maybe she's looked after her voice.
Well, I mean, I do have a track coming up later on that I think she's in, and that's from the early mid-90s, so that's about as close as we're going to get on this episode.
Wow, cool. I guess I hadn't kept track of it, but I have heard so many tunes with her on them, from the spaghetti western to the giallo to kind of almost everything. But I wanted to talk now about another vocalist who Ennio worked with, and now because we've been focusing largely on his scoring, and it's a lot of his work is his scoring, but one of the things that he did early on was actually write pop songs, and this song, Se Telefonando, by Mina, is so great, and it's just totally written by Ennio, and it's like interesting because at the same time he was doing all this avant-garde stuff, but he wrote this huge Italian pop song, and Mina's just such a staple of Italian pop music, but apparently the melody of this song was composed around a siren that was that was like around Rome or something. There was a siren that would go off all the time that was recognizable. So the melody's based around a siren, which is awesome. Still, him sort of like taking these, I don't know, these inspirations from these kind of odd sounds, and in this case, utilizing them in a pop context. So yeah, I really wanted to just focus for a minute on Ennio as a pop writer, because he could write a catchy tune.
Yeah, I actually, I've been searching, maybe you can help me later, but I've been searching for a particular vocal track of his,
Right.
and I cannot find it for the life of me, and I don't remember the name of it because it was in Italian. And
Right.
I've just been plowing through all these pop songs of his, and yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the discography is so immense. I mean, I had like a filmography just of the things he scored. And I had this document. This was years ago. This was like 10 years ago. And I remember looking at the year 1971, and it was like he would have had to do a film score, finish a whole film score every month, and then some. There was more. So that's pretty incredible.
Yeah. And often he's got like some of his very best scores all in the 1 year.
Yeah, it's nuts. And 71 was a good one, I remember thinking. But if you find that pop song, please tell me. Yeah, I want to hear it. I want to hear what it is. I want to hear what it is.
Me too. Anyway, we can talk about it later. Let's hit this track. You want to introduce it again? Telefonando?
Se telefonando. More shout outs to Gene. Me speaking Italian. Take it. Amiga.
Lo stupore della notte spalancata sul mare ci sorprese che eravamo sconosciuti io e te. Poi nel buio le tue mani d'improvviso sulle mie è cresciuto troppo in fretta questo nostro amor. Se telefonando io potessi dirti addio, ti chiamerei. Se io rivedendo ti fossi certa che non saprei, ti rivedrei. Se guardandoti negli occhi sapessi dirti basta, ti guarderei. Ma non so spiegarti che il nostro amore è appena nato e già finito. Se telefonando io potessi dirti addio, ti chiamerei. Se io rivedendo ti fossi certa che non saprei, ti rivedrei. Se guardandoti negli occhi sapessi dirti basta, ti guarderei. Ma non so spiegarti che il nostro amore è appena nato e già finito.
That's when you know it's Ennio, because he has these odd background vocals like dun, 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 dun. I don't know why I'm singing like that. I'm sorry.
No, that's great. I'm going to keep that in.
Yeah, the pop sensibility, you know, I mean, it's just a total like epic pop song. It keeps moving up and up and up. But I just love that I could watch that video of her doing it live on television, and when it gets to that bit, it's just like transcendent. You know, you just want to put it on again.
Yeah, that song was like, it's on 10 the whole time, 10 out of 10. It's just it's intense, but it's not overpowering.
Yeah,
It's just
it has Italian. It certainly has Italian drama. You know.
definitely, yeah. Well, let's move on to our next track, I think. So again, this is another soundtrack from 1971, and it's from the movie Verushka, Poesia di una donna, Poetry of a Woman.
I reckon that's Verushka.
Verushka. It is Russian or something, isn't it?
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, this is one of my favorite soundtracks. It's beautiful, it's creepy, and everything in between. So this track is the title track, Verushka. So let's give it a listen.
Yeah. I didn't know that one. That's really great, Joel.
Yeah, I was saying it was one of the probably one of the later soundtracks that I found. I was actually scanning through Spotify and just seeing what there was, and I saw the cover, and it's really bizarre looking cover with this weird face, and it was from 1971, which is a good year.
Another one of those 1971 scores, you know?
Yeah, and it's this is one of my favorite scores. It's got some stuff that's so creepy that I don't even listen to it, and some really kind of beautiful, weird stuff like this. So
I like it when he gets a bit creepy and avant-garde. I think it's pretty fun, but it's great when it's juxtaposed with just total beauty like that.
Yeah, that's literally the whole album. You know what it reminds me of? I'm trying to remember the name. It's a Secret Chiefs album that came out, and I think it was basically half an album and half a score.
It was a score, yeah. I know the one you mean. The Lemani something. It's like him Trey doing a Giallo score.
Yeah, and it really reminds me of the way he did that, because he's got some pretty creepy songs just kind of put through with the really it's the vocals as well. It's amazing how she can.
It seems like she was totally just giving it up to Morricone, Bruno Nicolai, and Piccioni, and all those guys. And also they're like just thinking about that track especially, and also the Lizard, Luce Tola. The use of the types of reverbs and echoes that they had in those times is really cool and interesting.
Yeah,
and I feel
it gives it a real dreamy kind of sound, doesn't it?
Yeah, I feel like Trey tried to get that sound kind of with his string, because he often put these big delays on the strings. I guess the difference with him is he doesn't have access to a full string section, but he's kind of got that knack of making a few string players sound like a string section.
Yeah, and I really love the strings in that last song. Just the way they kind of swell in and out, I wouldn't really call it an awkward way, but it's just, for me, my mind, it's not the predictable kind of string swells you would expect.
No, it's really kind of beautiful, quasi-classical kind of writing. I really dig it. Also, shout outs to the fucking weird drum part in that.
Because you've got the delay going and the hi-hat and the tapping on the snare or whatever. It's just like just clicking and clacking all over the place.
Super weird. And speaking of weird, my next pick, I was talking before about the film I Malo Mondo, which I haven't seen, sorry, but I think it's like part of like a kind of those Italian Mondo films. Mondo Cane being one of those films, but this is called Musculi de Velluto, and I actually did discover this, I'll admit, from a Mr. Bungle bootleg, but the original version is so great. The orchestration is really odd, and it's kind of got like it's like a fun little party song or something, or kind of with these rock and roll kind of, early 60s, because this was from 64, early 60s rock and roll influences, but then these crazy horns, and I'll just put it on. Let's just put it on. I'm talking about it. But I'm
looking forward to this because I either don't remember it or haven't heard it. So,
well, let's dive in, Joel. Let's dive in.
All right, crack that song. That was a journey and a half. I do remember that song. I don't think I could ever forget that little.
Yeah, I love it. I love that the main vocal is just this kind of crooning with no words. And the thing is, I was going to mention this about Verushka. I love this halfway between like words and an onomatopoeia or something that he does.
Scat?
It's so great. Well, maybe, I don't know, because I mean, like when Edda does it, it sounds like she's saying words, but then it's like not. It's almost like an Italian person making fun of English sometimes.
Yes, I've definitely done that myself in the other direction, but
Well, yeah, but this that tune is great, and I love how ham-fisted the musicians sound sometimes. Like, I feel like the string player makes a big mistake, and the guitar player, like, rhythm playing is a little bit like ding 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 ding, and that little solo at the end is just like it's got this almost Italo folk song vibe, or you can imagine someone sort of playing that in some little village, and then he starts playing his kind of rock and blues licks. Yeah.
all right, boys, let's turn it up a notch.
Yeah, but actually, I kind of incorrectly called it more rock and roll than it is. I mean, it's almost like a 1950s, 60s lounge track more than anything.
But it does have that good chunk of rock and roll in there.
Yeah, the sax break is pretty rockin', I guess. But yeah, all the organs but it's so delicate still. It's a weird, odd little tune with some really strange ideas, and it's played in this kind of bizarre way, but it's so intricate. Every little blend of instruments is perfectly in its own odd little world. I just love that piece of music. It's so brilliant.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you picked it, because I'd completely forgotten about it. Although as soon as I heard it, I remembered straight away. Like I said, it's very hard to forget. And that's probably a good transition song into my next pick as well, because I've gone for something a lot more, how do you say it, less trippy and psychedelic, and something a lot more happy and joyful. So
wow. I don't know this one. I've never. So this will be a good one for me. Maybe maybe I've never heard this.
It's in a similar vibe. To me, it seems like it has a little bit of a sense of humor about it. But yeah, anyway, I'll try to pronounce this. This is Punto e Basta, Titoli Detesta. So it's the title credits, or the title music anyway, that plays at the beginning of the show. And it's from the 1967 film Ad Ogni Costo, otherwise known as Grand Slam. So yeah, I got a little irrelevant story to tell about this when we come back, but let's hit it and we'll be back soon.
Fantastic.
All right, so there you go. That is, well, wait, I lost my notes. I need my notes to pronounce any of these songs. Punto e Basta, Titoli Detesta from Ad Ogni Costo, Grand Slam.
Yeah, that's awesome. I've never heard that. That's got to be one of my favorite things I've heard that I hadn't heard yet of late of Morricone's. I mean, you know, I noticed when he passed too that I was looking around and trying to find some stuff for a playlist. I was trying to make playlists for people, and I was finding these things, and I was like, wow, I'd never heard this, and also the way he's such a master at arranging it for anything, it's kind of mind-blowing, really. I mean, I love hearing his horn arranging, like he's like, you know, big horn section arranging. I think it's really...
Yeah. Some of those bits are pretty epic in that song. It goes from... I honestly think the La La Las, they remind me of like the Muppets singing or something like that. And then you've got that big horn section that comes in that's just really epic. The big drum sounds, like, that's pretty much like that's a straight punk beat most of the way through that song.
I really like the way that you can hear the, again, like in the horn playing, well, not the horn playing so much as the horn writing. You can hear the Bacharach influence. So the first phrases of the writing, and he did acknowledge Bacharach as an influence, I think.
Yeah, okay. I think without knowing anything about who influences who, there's definitely some similarities in both of them that I really, really love.
Absolutely.
I've got just a little story about that. So when I started going out with my wife, I very quickly learned that she didn't share almost any of my love of music and the kind of music that I loved. I started sending her stuff, and she's like, "Why do you even like this?" But this song, I've got a good memory with this song because this is one, maybe the very first song that I sent her, and that she actually really loved, and so yeah, that's my little bit of nostalgia for that song. Although it didn't make it to the walking down the aisle background track, unfortunately.
Didn't you have the Julian Kerwin playing as you walked down the aisle?
Yes, I did.
Oh my God! Shout out.
Oh no, he not walking down the aisle. So we had a family member just doing acoustic guitar a bit with the walking down the aisle, but when everyone was hanging out, we had the Mango Balloon playing, which was
That's awesome.
it was so good. My in-laws they're like, all right, we'll let you pick the music, whatever. They a bit more like my wife. They wouldn't trust me at all with music selection. I've gained a little bit of respect over the years, but everyone at the wedding was like, that band was amazing, and it really was. It's just like having a first class band playing just amazing music. I loved it.
And was Heifetz there?
No, he wasn't, which I was disappointed about, but in the end it didn't matter because I forget his name, but the percussionist probably came instead. He's pretty brilliant anyway.
Yes, it's very good. I want to know too what the hell you were sending your wife. Like, what are you sending her, like Cannibal Corpse or something? Check out the music, man. I love it.
Well, okay, so if I had have sent to any of the previous songs, she probably, maybe Cheyenne, she would have liked. I have strong memories of, this is the dumbest thing now looking back in retrospect, but sending a live video of The Residents to her. And
oh my God, Joel, come on.
I can't. I've got this. I do have a serious problem. Like I can't pick birthday presents for people because all I can think about is stuff that I want.
Maybe that's something to look at. But also, if you were buying me a birthday present and you bought me an album by The Residents, I wouldn't be mad. Just saying.
Yeah, but that's part of the thing of having a wife. They challenge you in many areas.
Well, I want to know if your wife would like the next selection of mine, and I'd like you to tell me later. I think this tune is one of my favorites ever by Ennio. I had a burnt disc. Look, it's so weird because now I'm old and I don't remember exactly why, but
so old.
I was 18 and I got given a burnt disc of all of this odd Morricone stuff. And that's where I first kind of had. It was a compilation of more 70s stuff, and Amore Come Dolore was on it, the one that we played earlier from Citizen. Well, no, not Citizen. Forbidden Photos of a Lady Above Suspicion. So that's where I first heard that. But this one really stuck out to me, and I think we're just going to let this tune speak for itself. Come Maddalena, and my fingers are crossed that your wife likes this one. Here it is, Come Maddalena, from the film Maddalena. triumphant finish that is Come Maddalena by the maestro Ennio Morricone from soundtrack to Maddalena. I haven't seen that movie. I kind of, after listening to that again, I really feel like I should, because whatever that is scoring, it's got to be cool, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, that was an amazing musical journey for sure. I have a fear, personally. I have a fear of, because I'll listen to so many soundtracks because I like the music. I have a fear of watching the film and then having all that kind of, like when you listen to a soundtrack and you don't know what the actual film is, because it's such cinematic music, it often like conjures up certain emotions or feelings or whatever. And I often wonder, if I watch this movie, I'm going to lose it. It's gone. I'm always going to be connected to a movie. And if the movie's not good, maybe it'll spoil it for me.
Yeah, look, I had a little bit of that with the forbidden photos, but not really. I mean, look, the only thing for me is like, if it's good, then that will enhance it for me. But I don't know. I feel kind of bad that I haven't seen some of these movies. But I once heard from David J, who is the composer who now lives in Melbourne, who lived in New York and was kind of in Zorn's circle and makes great records of his own. So it's not just him being great by association. David J is fantastic, great composer. But he once told me that he maybe met Ennio or heard. I mean, this was when we were both really drunk at Bebida in 2012. So I feel like I'm quoting David potentially. But he said that one of the things Ennio said always was like that he just really wanted to make a good record. When he made a score, he really cared about just like making a really great record for people to listen to. And I think that maybe sometimes he was not that enthused with the films.
I just did a Henry Mancini episode recently as well. And I think he said a similar thing. He obviously, his first goal is to score the film, but he also wanted it to be something that people could just put on the stereos and listen to. And I think for me, definitely with Henry Mancini's music, he just put on one of his soundtracks and it's literally just like an amazing album.
Yeah, totally. And that's the case with a lot of great OSTs, I wonder what was going through everyone's head, I mean, Ennio being one of them, but then, Peter Thomas or Nino Rota or any of these absolute legend, genius musicians.
Yeah, I will say though that Ennio Morricone, if he's thinking along those lines, he also was certainly not afraid to just create some absolutely disgusting and really avant-garde stuff that most people would not appreciate, just putting it on the record, but probably was the absolute perfect thing for the film.
Sounds like a great record to me, Joel.
Yeah, I don't think there's 6 million Angus Leslies in the world, but
there should be. The world should be. You know what the world should be? The world should be the music video of the real Slim Shady, but they're all me, and terrorizing Dr. Dre, because I saw a photo before of like we veer off for a second of Dr. Dre on the real Slim Shady in the real Slim Shady music video, surrounded by all the Eminem hair kids. I'll just give everybody my hair, and then we can all terrorize Dr. Dre, because it needs to happen again in his life right after he's had an aneurysm.
I'm glad we've got that sorted. So, all right, one thing I wanted to talk about. So, some people might be wondering why do we have the right to speak about Ennio Morricone? Well, unlike probably about 7 billion other people in this world, we have a very special thing. We actually witnessed the maestro in person at one of his concerts.
That's right.
So I would love to talk about my concert. We'll listen to a track and then we'll come back, and I would love to hear the story that you have about the time you saw him as well.
Oh, it's a story, and it's a story, all right.
So I've had some extreme luck. You know, I'm a Christian, so I guess that it's God has blessed me with these very, very lucky experiences. So I'm a microwave engineer, and every couple of years I'll go to a international microwave engineering conference, not concert.
Joel, I did not know this about you. You're a microwave engineer.
I'm industrial microwave engineer. Yes, that is my it's my skill. So,
Fix my microwave?
pardon?
Can you fix my microwave?
Yeah, that's one thing we don't do.
Oh, so they just break. You
build
build them, and you won't fix them.
We build industrial microwaves. So the microwaves we deal with, like I could probably put you in one of them. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, please don't get it fixed then.
The microwaves you can buy these days from the shops are so cheap that it costs more to fix it than it would to buy a new one. But anyway, so here's I'll try to make this short. But basically, back in 2008, this is the first time this happened to me. There was a conference going on in New Orleans, and so at a certain date, we went to New Orleans for this conference, and we decided. So this is me and my dad. I work with my dad, and we decided we'll do the conference. We'll be in New Orleans for a week, and we'll spend another week just kind of making our way up through the South of America.
Wow!
So that was in place. We had someone in Knoxville who was also at the conference, so we're going to meet them at a certain date and stay at their place. And so you go into America, it's you want to see what music's going on at that time, concerts and stuff.
Absolutely.
So I did a little search, and lo and behold, Tom Waits was doing his Glitter and Doom tour. Whoa. And one of his dates lined up absolutely perfect with when we were going to arrive at Knoxville.
Wow.
And so I managed to see a Tom Waits concert, a sold out tour. So that was the first time that this amazing coincidence happened. And
That's
then
he doesn't play that. He doesn't play all the time. He's
this is like, since early 2000s, this could be the only like major tour he did, and it was pretty small to begin with.
Wow.
Yeah, so I managed to see one of those concerts, so that was amazing. So hearing Tom Waits live is
I bet
unreal. It was a decent sized venue as well, but I literally had like second back row, but
wow,
it wasn't a stadium, but I did see Ennio Morricone in a more like a stadium kind of environment. So
yeah.
In 2017, another conference, and I'm in the Netherlands.
Wow.
So what's going on in the Netherlands during this basically probably less than 2 week window that I'm there? And lo and behold, Ennio Morricone, about 10 minutes away from where I'm staying, is doing one of his 60 years of music tour shows at Rotterdam with the Czech National Symphony Orchestra.
Holy shit.
And so I don't know how that worked out, but it did. Amazing show. Literally, he walks out on stage and the whole audience just stands up. He gets a standing ovation, and it really felt like, for like these thousands of people, that concert was like their way, the audience's way of saying thank you for like 60 years of music. That was like their one moment to do
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah, and people, in Europe, he's just, the people really appreciate music in Europe,
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I haven't been to the Netherlands. I don't know what exactly it's like there, but
it's a nice place.
Well, that's a great story, Joel. I have my own story about seeing Ennio Morricone, but
let's listen to a song and we'll come back and listen to your story. Is that all right?
Absolutely.
So when at the concert, there was probably one song that I didn't recognize, and it was this song, Tropical Variation, from the 1996 film Nostromo. Not to be confused with the alien spaceship from the movie Alien. But anyway, this is Tropical Variation from 1996, and I think this is the Del Orso song.
Cool. It's good to hear some later Ennio too. And by the way, I think I spoke out of turn earlier. I think U-Turn, the later Morricone movie I mentioned earlier, is not from the 90s. I think U-Turn is actually from... No, it is from the 90s. I was right. All right.
Okay.
I thought it was from 2000, but this is from the 90s. I'm excited to hear this. I don't know this either.
No, this is a great track. So this is Tropical Variation from 1996 film Nostromo. All right. So that was Tropical Variation from 1996 film Nostromo.
That was just great. I really loved that. I never heard it, and I'll be listening to that one again.
Yeah, so hearing that live for the first time, it grabbed me straight away because it has this really a solid driving rhythm that just goes through it, and there's accents. There's classic accents similar to some of the other tracks we've listened to, with the extra instruments just coming in and going.
Yeah,
it's just.
I like that. It's sort of got a swing feel to it, but it's this odd little melody. Yeah, I just feel like it's good to try and because I have to go and try and listen to more of his music that existed past the 70s. I'm a bit bad with that. Like I kind of I haven't enough. I get really hung up on the 70s because, I mean, I love a lot of music from the 70s, as a lot of people might know, even just by hearing the music that I make. Well, some of it anyway. But I mean, I guess I did see Ennio live in 2012.
Yeah, I'd love to hear about that actually, because that was in Australia, wasn't it?
It was in Adelaide. It was look. There were some less than desirable things about the concert. One of the things was that Adelaide Festival, Adelaide Fringe, and the Adelaide like motocross or whatever these like loud cars all started.
Is it V8 supercars or something like that?
V8 cars. They were on at the same time as each other, and we were there. Sex on Toast when we were still young and naive. Had booked this little Adelaide Fringe season, and we played several shows. I don't remember how many actually. Was it 2 or 3? We did some promo shows in the mall, and we actually, our third promo show to get people down to our gigs was canned because we had some material that had some lyrics that was a little bit blue, and I said to the guys, well, we've got to change these lyrics because they're dirty, and so we changed the lyrics we tried to clean the lyrics up. So I was like, we're going to make this song, instead of what it's about, we're going to make it about deep sea diving. But it honestly, it somehow made it worse. It made it sound worse. I suppose there was still innuendos, but look, I had a cordless microphone, and at that time, if you gave me a cordless microphone, things would go wrong. So I got the cordless microphone, and I started walking into clothes stores while singing and like trying to try things on, and the clothes store people were trying to kick me out, and then I walked all the way down the Rundle Mall to McDonald's, and I was trying to get a cheeseburger.
So how far away is this from the desk, the mixing desk?
Pretty far, man, and it cut out. By the time I got to McDonald's, it did cut out.
Hey, could you still hear the band?
Yeah. I mean, kind of. Yeah, it was kind of loud. But we were reprimanded and stripped of our promotion, our next promotional engagement, Joel. But during this trip, I had bought a ticket to Ennio Morricone. He was playing for the Adelaide Festival, and I went along with Party Tricks, the erstwhile Sex on Toast keyboard player, Gene Litzer, and Trent Manasseh, who I owed $100 for the gig for too long. Shout outs to him. I'm sorry that I took too long to pay you back. But we sat down, and it was just the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen. I was about to cry. And then these V8 supercars like start roaring up, and then the concert is kind of interrupted by these distant V8 supercars at certain points. It was just like, I can't believe this. This is one of the greatest geniuses of all time conducting Australian musicians, and we having to listen to a car race in the background. Yeah, it wasn't good. Did you read about that at the time? Or
Oh yeah, most definitely. I tried to recently find a video that I could listen to again, but I remember someone had recorded something, and I'm guessing it didn't go through the whole concert, but what I heard was literally just this kind of hum, this like bees buzzing in the background, and you could hear it over the top of the music. It kind of reminded me of I don't know when was it South Africa World Cup soccer or something, and they all brought their trumpets and things to the stadium. It was just this ensemble of aggressive bees just buzzing in the background, and that's what it reminded me of.
Look, it was less than ideal, but it did go away at certain points, and I did that day what I've done before, which is he got a standing ovation, of course, was incredible, even with the motocross, and I walked up I walked up real close. I walked up as close as I could so I could see him closer. You know, I did that as well at the Maya Music Bowl when I saw Brian Wilson live. I got down to right about like the very front of the stage, so I could stand right in front of the stage. I watched Brian leave the stage. I watched him just walk off the stage, like, you know, it's like there's that human being that's so important to me and so important to the world, and there they go. It's very
it's crazy, isn't it?
cathartic experience to be in the presence of people like that. Now, I mean, I was talking before about how I'm obsessed with the 70s. Now, the next song that I've picked is from a seminal film, directed by the master of giallo and also, I guess, zombie films. But often his films are scored by Goblin. But in this case, I mean, Dario Argento, he can do anything, really, to be fair. I mean, he can do witches, he can do zombies, but this is one of the great giallo films of all time, The Bird with the Crystal Plumage. And I want everybody who's listening to please hear the main theme right now from The Bird with the Crystal Plumage, because it is truly fantastic.
All right, let's hit it.
All right.
All right.
All right. That was yeah. You good?
Yeah. Go for it.
The Bird with the Crystal Plumage, absolutely fantastic film. Of course, the Giallo, Killer with Black Gloves. Different kind of Giallo to Lizard with the Skin of a Woman. That's a bit more psychedelic. This is more a murder mystery, but it has you on the edge of its seat. Really great cast. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've seen it. And Joel, you were just asking me before, how do we find these films? Well, there's some stuff on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if there's full films on YouTube. Some are. Some of the lesser known ones. I mean, some European films that I used to watch, I've seen, like, you know, some of these European horror films. Like, one of my favorites is The Devil's Nightmare, and I think that's all on YouTube. The Devil's Nightmare, for anybody listening, was scored by Alessandro Alessandroni, who was the guy. He was another Italian film composer, but he was actually the guy who played all of the guitar, I think all the electric surf guitar, or maybe just a lot of the guitar, and did all the whistling on a lot of Ennio's.
Ah, interesting.
A great composer in his own right. But it's. I heard, Joel, that he actually came to Australia and did some gigs. That would have been cool to see. I think there's a venue called DeVille's that was in Perth, and I think he perhaps performed there. The guy that owns DeVille's is kind of cool. He also used to own the Melbourne venue Luau, R.I.P. Luau, Tiki Bar. Tiki Bar was terrible on stage sound if you play there, but
It's a big deal bringing anyone out to Australia. Like, usually some of these more obscure people come out because of a festival. Festival's able to, I guess, pay for. Yeah,
I have to get more info about that. But his scores are, The Devil's Nightmare is a really great score and a really great film. But we're not talking about Ennio Morricone's sidekick now, are we?
We're certainly not. And speaking of sidekicks, it's a perfect segue into the next song. So here we have up next. I haven't seen this film. I probably should, but
I've been meaning to see this film. I'd like to see it. I see what you've got written here. So this is from The Hateful Eight, the recent Tarantino film.
Yes, and so. This is the long one. We're not shying away from long tracks in this episode. You can take your time and listen to this episode over a couple of weeks, or you can take it all in one go. But there's no doubt you have to listen to this whole song in one go, because the slow and steady build, and then just the crescendo near the end is just, you just got to take it in. So let's listen to it, and then we'll come back and talk about it. I'll try and pronounce this again. La Ultima Diligenza de Red Rock, the last stage of the Red Rock, from the 2015 film The Hateful Eight. So let's do it. This is a sinister track.
Yeah, dog.
Man, that is
yeah.
that is a sinister track to come from an 86-year-old Italian man.
That's incredible. I love that. I think I checked that out when it came out, and I still haven't seen the movie. Forgive me, world. But yeah, what I read about it was that there's sections of it that he's taken from old scores. Like there's a bit from The Thing, the John Carpenter thing he scored, and there's some music from Exorcist 2, but it is an original score. And he won the Oscar, which is very long.
After decades.
Really long overdue. I mean, you thought it was not what you expected, or?
No. So my notes are basically. So what I read was so Tarantino. He's been using Morricone songs for like 20 years or something, or maybe even 25 years, and I think what was it? Django Unchained. I think he used. Or Morricone did an original song for that. Am I correct?
Yeah, he did. Well, I read somewhere that there was a misquoted article where he did express some displeasure about the use of the song, but
yeah,
I think he cleared that up and said that he was misquoted.
Yeah. So Tarantino, he finally, after all these years, gets his Morricone score.
He wanted Ennio to do Pulp Fiction, apparently.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he wanted him to do all his films. But I think what I read from Morricone quotes and Tarantino quotes, I think Tarantino was expecting a classic 60s spaghetti western style soundtrack, and Morricone said there's no way that he could repeat what he'd already done, because that just, what's the point in doing that? So he created something fairly new and unique for this new movie, and
the music's great, and the way that he's orchestrated everything down really low at the start is so great.
Yeah, it's just like growling at the start, isn't it?
Oh yeah, and I love the vocals. I love that he's still got those big mask low male vocals. I love that.
A little bit more masculine than that, maybe.
Yeah, I think you need to work on your timbral masculinity there.
I've got children sleeping in the room behind me, so that's the only reason why I don't sound like a gorilla right now.
Well, I hope they're yours.
Yeah, they are.
Well, I guess we're coming to the end of the episode, which is, in some ways sad, because I'm sure we've enjoyed listening to all of these songs maybe as much as you, the listener, have. And if you know all this music already, then...
start your own podcast.
Yeah, get your own podcast. But if you're learning something new today, we'll also get your own podcast, because everybody is looking for new podcasters to listen to. All right,
and the best way to learn something is to teach it. Isn't that right?
Exactly. So teach something. It might not be this, but also podcasters make millions. Like Joel is making $1 million an hour from this podcast. He's going to quit the microwave business. I used to do a podcast. It's certainly...
You've basically retired on that, haven't you?
Yeah, I'm retired. I'm zooming Joel from a small island in the Bahamas that I own, where I have 25 giraffes, and I've taught them how to lift me out of bed in the morning. So what I'm going to talk about, because I earlier for this last song, it's kind of like almost an upsetting last song. I've been doing that in my band sets as well. But so I covered Morricone's pop side, and now I wanted to cover his avant-garde side and non-film scoring side. So this is a group called Gruppo di Improvvisazione Nuova how do you say it? Consonanza. All right, that's my best.
Brilliant.
Really big words in there, but it's basically Ennio and a bunch of Italian composers, and they kind of hung out in studios and made some really odd sounds. Ennio actually played trumpet in it. Like, it's maybe little known that he was a trumpet player originally, but it's really amazing. Yeah, I mean, it should be YouTubed as well because you can see them doing their thing.
There's live videos of this, is there?
There are videos, yeah.
Nice.
But some of these, I mean, he used them on his film scores sometimes in the aforementioned avant-garde bits of scores. But it's like, it's amazing textural improvisation. You know, you can really go on a little journey with it. You know, little blips and, you know, bloops from trumpets and, you know, sucking sounds and whirring and prepared piano, and it's awesome. It's really awesome, and it really makes you understand why Ennio loves the unorthodox when it comes to instrumentation and sound, and you know, they embrace tape music, electronic music, prepared piano, everything, you know, and they still were together until 1980. They're still, you know, they're a band, I guess.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and look, I can't pretend to be an expert about these guys. I've listened to a few records and I've really enjoyed them. But I think it's amazing to note that at the same time as writing, you know, the Mina tune, he's off doing this stuff and scoring films and just generally being a creative, wonderful, masterful visionary. And we miss you, Ennio, but you made a lot of great work for us to listen to, and we are very, very thankful for that.
Yeah, and there's so much to go through, and there's so much classic stuff that really we didn't touch on. I guess maybe you feel the same way as me, but I felt like, you know, the compilation stuff. Everybody
knows that stuff, you know. I think
it's easy to find as well.
I think it's important to highlight music that people maybe haven't discovered yet. And so if they want to go down that rabbit hole, realize there's so much stuff, and even the stuff that isn't talked about much is brilliant. Yeah,
it certainly is. Well, I'm looking forward to this. It's hard to forget a track titled Orgasmo, but...
yeah, we'll leave you with this. Gruppo di improvvisazione... Oh, I can do it. Gruppo di improvvisazione nuovo consonanza with Orgasmo. And that's it. I'm Angus Leslie. Voltz, thanks for having me.
Yep, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on. Definitely a lot more fun than if I was just going through this on my own. So, thanks for coming on the show. We'll finish with this, and I'll play an outro track as well. We have to play "Ecstasy of Gold." That's that's a classic that we can't miss.
Absolutely.
And I would love to play a "Sex on Toast" track after that.
Great.
So,
let's go with. Actually,
are you gonna say it all again?
No, I was gonna say let's go with the song "Try It Out," the first track from our first full-length LP. I think that's got the middle section of that is a big explosion of ridiculous guitar solos, bombastic keyboards and arranging that I think maybe suits the flavor that we've got going here.
Yeah, and so we played the tone. Can you just explain the difference between the Tone A version and the original version? Because we did play the Tone A version on our last episode.
Well, the Tone A version of Try It Out. So we're not playing Try It Out. We're going to be playing Let 'Em Go. But
oh yeah, of course. Sorry.
But that's okay. I can explain the difference between the Tone A version of songs and maybe the original version or the Ricky version. Tone A is just a way to funnel any songs through the I guess
the talk box.
Well, that's getting totally. We funnel a song through a set of stylistic rules that. I mean, we're not really doing like we kind of did the Tone era already, but the rules of Tone is basically, you know, it's you're drawing more from New Jack Swing styles, from you know, electro funk, you know, anything hard hitting that kind of is synth bass, drum machine driven. Maybe there's a talk box, absolutely. Big synthesizer explosions. So with the song Try It Out, we had the original, more 1960s, 70s soul arrangement of it. And I was thinking about the song one day and I thought, well, this would totally suit a Tone arrangement. We could totally make this into like a Tone slow jam in the style of Johnny Gill or something. So we pushed it through the funnel. And it's come out, but I spent hours dreaming of different strange arrangements of our tunes. And one day, maybe the world will hear said arrangements. And
I hope we do, because all the arrangements you've pumped out so far have been literally amazing.
Well, I appreciate that so much, Joel. And I must say right now that I enjoy your music as well. And I'll say to listeners, I've known this guy for a long time. And once he drove all the way from Wollongong.
I caught a plane.
Oh, okay. I'm so glad that you caught a plane. But you still came all the way to Wollongong to see an umlaut show.
Yeah, what was it, like 2,000 kilometers?
That's a long time. Umlaut.
Yeah, and I think it was an umlaut / Sex on Toast show. I think it was
like Sex on Toast, Feet Bear McKinnon, and we learned all of Bear's songs. And then I took you out to see a grindcore band later, and you left. You didn't like it. But
no, I remember that. I just had to get up like super early to catch my plane.
Red-eye flights. Well, thanks again.
It was a great experience. Back in the days when I still lived at home and could afford to just fly down halfway across the country to watch some of my favorite musicians. So thank you once again for coming on the show. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thanks so much, mate, and we'll stay in touch.
Yeah.
And to all the listeners, just stay clean, stay hydrated, and listen to some Ennio Morricone because it's good for you.
Yeah, except for the really bad stuff that'll destroy your mind on the inside, but it's a good challenge for the soul.
Yeah, you must listen to that stuff. You must listen to that. And with that, we will
leave you with some of it.
Torment you with this song, Orgasmo, by the band's name that I'm not going to try and say again because I'm not Italian. All right, signing off.
All right, au revoir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, folks. Well, thank you for tuning in to another bonus No Rules episode of Voltz Supreme's Synth VGM Dream Stream Machine podcast. The podcast where we usually listen to music completely different to this, but we had to check out Ennio Morricone, one of my favorites. Thank you again, Angus Leslie, for coming on the show. We're now going to leave you with the disturbing piece Orgasmo, and then Sex on Toast's Letting Go, and then finally one of the greatest songs of all time, Ecstasy of Gold, by the amazing Ennio Morricone. All right, stay synthetic, folks, and we'll be back for season 2 soon.